Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. My name is Ross Benjamin. It is Monday and special Monday because I have Sean and Jesse with me, and it's a Monday, not a Tuesday, not a Wednesday, not a Thursday or Friday. It's a Monday. You know why? Because the NBA Finals, we may be talking about it for the last time tonight. So today, I should say. So let's get to it. You know, it's Denver and Miami, obviously. Game 5. Denver takes both games in Miami decisively. Miami can't seem to put the ball in the ocean during this NBA Finals after being so good in the previous 3 series. But Jesse, first of all, how are you?
I'm doing all right, Ross. I'm a little afraid to brag too much because I did that on Friday and it didn't work out for me over the weekend. But I'm looking forward to Game 5 after the Nuggets lost Game 2. I said Denver in 5, and now we got a chance to get that done.
Well, you know, I get the whole thing with the bragging and it's a kiss of death kind of thing, you know. But at the end of the day, folks, if we don't brag about our win streaks when we're hot and alert you to the fact that we're hot, it's not even bragging. It's alerting you because you're watching, because you bet on sports. If we don't alert you to who's hot and what kind of streaks we got, we would be remiss not to bring that to your attention. It's all part of the industry. Not trying to be a salesman. We're just trying to tell you what we have. Now, on this show, we've had a lot of free winners. We didn't do so well on Friday. I think we were 1 and 2 or something like that. But consistently, we've been winning on this program over the last 12 weeks to the tune of around 59%. Sean, hot streaks and bragging and kiss of death and jinxes and all that kind of stuff. What's up with you, my friend?
Yeah, winning day Sunday, losing day Friday, Saturday. But you can't win them all. What are you gonna do? That's betting. If we didn't lose sometimes, it's not, you lose, folks. I don't care. I saw somebody on Twitter. He's like, you should follow me. I'm 75-0 with my alternate baseball lines. He's taking teams plus 4 runs. 5. I'm like, who? No comments on this person. Like he reposted under somebody else. So I'm like, what is 75-0? It sounds like a Vegas Dave type of affair here. And of course, I see his lines. Rockies plus 5. Like plus 5. Yeah. What are those odds? That's ridiculous.
Even betting games like that, you're going to lose 1 out of 75 games. You're not going to go 75-0. I don't care what kind of lines you're taking.
He had a bunch of posts posted, and after everyone was like, oh, it started like 15-0, 22-0, kept going. I mean, I didn't go. You lose me at. You're buying 2.5 runs, 3 runs I can't get into.
And even then, how do we know you're 75-0? Even with those crazy lines.
And the funny thing is, after this, like I go down after he's like 57-0 or whatever it was. It's like, I can't believe I got to pay $84 for a check mark on Twitter. I'm like, what? You just won 50? You don't have $84? What are you betting? You don't have. I don't know. The 3 of us, we go 54-0. I think we're buying a yacht for about $8 million. I don't know. Call me crazy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, 54.
Well, at least if we're 54-0, which is not going to happen, I mean, that's just, anybody who knows anything about sports betting, winning 54 bets in a row with legitimate lines, not plus 4 in baseball and stuff like that.
Just a regular side.
I don't even know where you could find lines like that in baseball. Anyway, if we were 54-0, we would have documentation of such. These guys who put out those types of numbers are just trying to tell you what they want to hear. Now, he very well could be 75-0 with those absurd numbers.
Yes.
But I highly doubt it. I'm not going to say he's lying because that's a strong word, right? But I highly doubt it.
I was like, what the heck? I'm
going to say it's highly probable that he's lying.
I'm gonna find his name, Jess. I'll send you it on Twitter. I'll be like, look at this thing.
I was on a show with a guy last week who said he was 80-23 or something with a special kind of pick. So it's embarrassing. It really is. So in any event, and I think you guys know who I'm talking about, but I love the guy, but man, oh man. Anyway, let's get to the NBA finals tonight. Right now, Denver is -9, and the total in this game is 209, 209.5. And again, Jesse, we're seeing that the total come down from 219, 219.5 in game one. Progressively came down each game, and now it's down to 209.5. I did cash in on the under on my free pick on Friday. Unfortunately, I lost on my premium pick on Miami, which ended a 7-0 run in the NBA playoffs. But I don't know, Jess. Is it to the point now? It's so hard to pull the trigger for me on an over when you got a Miami team who's just can't score right now. I mean, you look at going back to the Boston series, where they started to falter in Game 4 of the Boston series. They seem to be anemic offensively, and I don't know what the issue is, other than the fact that Jimmy Butler isn't Mr. Hero right now. And I tend to think he's worn down and he's not 100% healthy. But anyway, your thoughts on the game total, whatever you want to talk about in regards to Game 5 of the NBA playoffs tonight.
I'm going to talk total, Ross, and I'm going to pick up right where you left off. I'm a guy that likes to, when I see that line go down, I like to bet it up. When I see a team shoot horribly, I predict that there's going to be regression to the mean, positive regression, negative regression. But you can't expect regression when you see a team like Miami struggle for as long as they have. At the end of the day, that they've failed to score 100 points in like 7 of their last 8 games. That they're not shooting the ball well. I gave out a play on Gabe Vincent in the last show on Friday, over 12.5 points. I thought it was a good play. It was a pretty low number, but he couldn't do anything.
Did he go scoreless in that game?
I think he might have. I think they threw him on the bench right away.
Yeah, he went cold, and they put him on the bench. Yeah, that happens, Jesse. Go ahead.
But yeah, I mean,
2 points. 2 points. 1 of 6 from the field. 0 for 4.
There's just too much of that from the Miami side of things, and then there. So you look at regression, right? You want to look for anomalies and regression, but you also want to look at history. And if you boys are ready for a history lesson, I've had a look at the last 10 NBA finals in the closeout game, the final game of the NBA finals. The under is 8-2 in those games, and the losing team scored 100 points just twice. So the team that loses in the last game of the NBA finals, 8 out of the last 10 years, has failed to score 100 points. Miami has been involved in 3 of those last 10 finals, and they haven't scored 100 points in any of those games. Even the game they won in 2013, 95-88 against San Antonio. A couple years ago against the Lakers, they scored 93 in the closeout game. And back in 2014, they scored 87 in a loss to San Antonio. The team total for Miami is 99.5. They haven't been getting there. I don't see them getting there today the way they're shooting. Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy. Jimmy Butler gets the trademark playoff Jimmy right just in time for it to be null and void.
Yeah.
The trademark office should get back to him and say, we've canceled your application. You no longer qualify. Aside from that, I got a player prop as well. I don't want to give out just one pick. I got Aaron Gordon over 13.5 points. I think that's a low number for a guy that just went off for 27 in the last game. He's shooting 66% from the field in the finals. He's hitting 71% of his threes in the finals. You got his teammate Michael Porter Jr. really struggling. Porter Jr. played 42 minutes in game 1, but they've cut his minutes in half. They're not giving him as many looks. And I expect a guy to pick up the slack. A good guy to pick up the slack is Aaron Gordon, who's been playing well. He's been shooting well, and he's coming off a big game. And that 13.5 number is well below what he averaged during the regular season. So we're going to take Aaron Gordon over 13.5 points, and Miami Heat under 99.5 points.
Aaron Gordon averaged 16 points per game in the regular season, though, Jess, right? You know that, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I thought you said he hasn't averaged. I just was curious.
Maybe I did. Maybe I misspoke, but I meant to say that the number of
playoffs.
13.5 is well below what he averaged during the regular season.
Gotcha. He's averaging around 13 during the playoffs, and I'm smiling and I'm laughing, and you're going to find out why, because when it comes to my pick. Anyway, yeah, and Jesse, talk about consistency and screw playoff Jimmy. How about playoff Jesse? Tell the folks what you discussed with us off air, Jess.
Well, I know my record in the playoffs this year isn't bad. I mean, 64%. There's potentially this is the last game, and I'm hitting 64% in the playoffs. But I know I normally perform well in the playoffs, so I just decided just to change the dates from 2023 to 2022, same dates, and run a search on what my record was last year. And wouldn't you know it, that it came back 34-19, 64% this year. 34-19, 64% last year, and the units were only $13 apart.
Wow, isn't that so? That's textbook consistency, Sean.
And that's the kind of thing that you have to see it to believe it. And there's the screenshots are posted on Twitter, so there can be nobody saying that it ain't true.
No, because all you need to do, and we're all on the same sites just about. I mean, you could do a search on. We're all on Cappers. What is it?
Sportscapping.
Yeah, and you could do vast search by dates on that. So those are accurate. And if you're on Sports Memo, we could just hit 2022 NBA postseason, etc. So there's checks and balances when we put out a record. Sean, 64%. He says. Is not bad. It's pretty damn good in my opinion.
I know. That's amazing. I mean, what do you say? I mean,
well, you told him not to brag, so now he's trying to be humble.
Yeah, but sometimes you got to throw that out there because people are like, you had a loss, you're not good. Well, you don't judge us on one thing. No. That's not what you don't last on sites for 20 years by being a fluke, by having a good week. Yeah, that's not what we do.
No,
we have a bad day. It happens. 0-3, 1-6. Let's see. We'll see at the end of the year. That's the way I look at things.
Yeah,
every day.
Unfortunately, timing is everything. And that's the thing about having great streaks. Eventually, they end. And if you have great streaks more than you have horrible streaks throughout the course of the year, you're going to end up with a winning record.
There you go.
And sometimes they'll catch you on the end of a streak and they'll dive in and get a month package, and then you go a little bit cold. So the bottom line is take a look at the long term. If you're going to invest in somebody on an annual package, a month-long package, take a look how they do in a long haul, just not what they've done in the last couple of weeks. And you can't judge somebody. If you jump in and a guy loses the first 2 days, and you just stop playing their plays and then go on to the next guy who you found it's 27-10 over the last 2 weeks. Eventually all those streaks end. And I would say that if you're doing that, chances are you're going to end up losing and getting very frustrated. So you have to find a guy like Jesse, who just mentioned his consistency in the NBA postseason, and stick with him. That's
his numbers. Bro, he brought up was it last week? His summers for the last 3 years from June, July, August, and they're all nearly identical. So it's not like he's I'm a guy to be like, all right, I'm not doing this well in this sport, so I'll just move on to what I'm doing well in. Jesse's just, all right, we have CFL. Here you go. I'll give you CFL one. You want some MLB? Here you go. Oh, look at this. I got soccer over here. Boom. I got whatever. He's just, the records are almost the same amount of games. He's not, well, I'm real hot. I'm going to keep pressing it and go on.
Yeah.
Boomtown. No, we're just we eat up. We make the donuts. There we go. We move on to the next day. Just call him the Iceman. Just call him Mr. Consistency.
Yeah. There you
go. Isn't that why they called him the Iceman though? He was just doesn't make mistakes, just cool as a cucumber.
Cool as a cucumber, yeah. But that's
in
good.
In the Top Gun. I'm assuming everybody's seen Top Gun, but as you know, our kids haven't seen Top Gun. So
yeah, exactly. Sean, your take on Game 5? Jesse gave out some pretty good stats in terms of Miami.
I mean, where to start Miami? What a joke! I mean, playoff Jimmy. We had this. Do we have the Hall of Fame talk, Jimmy, on air, or was that off the air? We're talking about Jimmy Butler Hall of Fame
off
joke.
Air.
Yeah, was that off air? All right.
Actually, I said we were talking about it, and you said not so fast. You know, he still has to show
He-
more. And
the
I
ga-
asked you guys if they won the NBA championship this year, would Jimmy Butler be a lock for the Hall of Fame based on his performances in the postseason alone? You know, Jimmy Butler, people don't realize it either. The guy's a great defender. I mean, he's several years as a first team All NBA defensive player. So he's a good all around player. But, you know, at this point, I think we need to see more from Jimmy Butler. And I think sooner or later, he's going to have to win an NBA championship, or he's going to have to continue at the pace he's on for another 5 or 6 years before we consider him a Hall of Famer. Agree or no, Sean?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think he has 5 or 6 years left. He's not some young buck anymore. You know, he's he's getting up there. And who? I mean, he's been bad. The whole team's been bad. Let's be. I mean, I had the over team total on Friday, thinking, here we go. This has everything. All the cliches worked for them to win that game. Game 3, you're home. You know, let's take control of the series, score some points. But yeah, nothing. Jesse mentioned they're not being able to score 100 points. Their team total's gone from 105 down to what, 99? He said 99.
It's 100.5 now at a couple of sites, so still very, very low. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at the under again, because Denver is, whatever they're doing, it's working. Because Miami's not scoring. I'm not sold on their one game here. They scored 111 points. That was, I think, a one-off. I mean, this again, I don't even have a side on this, because I think Denver's going to win. I don't want to lay 10 points. Basically, I got to win by double digits. Do I think they win by double? Probably. They won every game by double digits here, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to look at one prop that I really like, and it's Max Strauss, excuse me, for Miami.
Strauss is right.
Strauss. Well, whatever. Mad Max. Let's go. Over 2.5 rebounds. It's minus 115. He's hit this in 16 of their 24 games, which is pretty darn good, considering that he's not Bam inside. He's not Jimmy. You know, I think Jimmy Butler is like all over, right? He's getting assists, he's getting rebounds, gets points. And Max is a guy who's in there to shoot threes. But he, 2.5, he's got 5, 7, 8. All right, there's a 1 in there. In a game like this, if they're not shooting well, which they haven't, in this series, he's hit that. I'm going to take these rebounds, because Denver, they're going to shoot a little bit here at home. I think I can see a spot here where Denver's going to shoot a couple more threes, maybe get a little cocky. We've seen that before in this series, where they get up and then they're kind of like, we're going to lay off a little bit. And a guy like him could come in here, long rebounds, you're shooting threes, they're coming off long. I'm going to 2.5. That's my favorite play today, believe it or not. I mean, I do like the under here. I think Denver wins it. We have Denver futures all over the joint, but I'm going with the prop here. I don't want to say they're going to win by 10 to a desperate team. Maybe it's a joke. Maybe it's 110 to 88 and it's not even close. I just I can't get involved in either side right there, because Miami looks dead, and Denver, we saw them in game 2. They kind of laid off. Should have won that one. They came all the way back. Just give me the rebound prop here on Max
Strauss over 2.5 rebounds. Jesse likes Aaron Gordon under 13.5 points scored.
Over
13.5 points scored. All right. I'm glad I caught that, because now I'm not, my pick is not going to be so funny. And you'll know why when I get there. But anyway, Sean, I don't know. They're begging you to take Denver because of, I don't know if they're begging you, but the obvious pick is going to be Denver all over the place after what we witnessed in game 3 and 4. I just can't lay the 9. You know, it's just such a heavy number in the NBA finals. And, you know, you talk about Miami, and you look at what they've done in the series, they really haven't shot the ball horribly. I mean, have they shot under what they've been doing in the other 3 series? Absolutely. I mean, they're around, I believe, 45% for the series shooting. Their 3-point shooting is still at 37%. The problem with Miami is they're 3-point shooting heavy. So when that happens, and the other team is hitting over 60% of their twos for the series, you have to almost hit 40% from the 3-point line. And the one key figure I said in the last game was this. I said, you know, Denver has shot 50.6% or better in each of the first 3 games in the series. That was leading into game 4. But the thing with Denver, and this is part of holding Miami to where they're at right now from a point standpoint, is Denver. I mean, Sean and Jesse, 80 field goals attempts or less in the first 4 games. That's a snail's pace.
Yeah.
And by NBA standards. Now, of course, when you shoot a higher percentage, I don't care what you average for the season in terms of field goal attempts, it's going to be lower because you're not getting second chance opportunities. You're making a lot of shots. And I said that if Denver, for Miami to have a chance to win game 3, they have to hold them to, I thought, 47% or better. And again, Denver shot 49%, almost 50% in that game. And again, they were under 80 field goal attempts. So I think that has a lot to do with Miami's low scoring on top because their shooting hasn't been horrible. Here's what I'm going to go with. I laughed because we were talking about Aaron Gordon. And I thought you went under, Jesse. I misheard you. I'm sorry about that. You're going over 13.5. And I'm going to agree with Jesse on that. That's my pick. I mean, you're looking at Aaron Gordon coming off a 27-point game, as Jesse alluded to. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something different than Jesse. Screw the 13.5. Let that be Jesse's pick. I'm going to go Aaron Gordon over 23.5 points, assists, and rebounds combined. And if you look at what he's averaging in the finals, Jesse, he's averaging 16.5 in the finals, 7.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists. That totals 27.5 points. He seems to be a player that's getting stronger as the series goes on. Also, I believe, and again, I'm interested to hear you guys' observations, is he's a mismatch nightmare for Miami because they're undersized to start with. And then you got to deal with Joker at 7'2" or whatever he is. And you got this guy 6'10", 6'11", Aaron Gordon, who's very athletic and is really imposing his will. I'm really impressed with what he did in the last game. But, this is a guy who averaged 16 points per game during the season. Okay. And now he's at 13.5 for the playoffs. I'm going to go Aaron Gordon to go rebounds, assists, and points over 23.5. Jesse?
Well, Ross, I think the Michael Porter Jr. thing is huge. And I don't know if you guys remember, after game 1, I spoke about an interview with Jokic, and they asked him, they said, what do you make of Michael Porter Jr. shooting 2 of 11 from beyond the arc? And Joker said, well, I didn't realize that. I thought he was hitting them. And I had said, well, it's important to know if he's hitting them or not, because you don't want to keep on giving, if he's not hitting them, do you really want to keep on kicking the ball up to him? You could be giving it to guys that are hitting them. And the thing is, as I said, Gordon's shooting 70% or better from beyond the arc in the series. He's not taking a lot of shots. He's quite selective with his 3-point shots, but he's making them. And he's making his 2-point shots. And it leads me to believe that Denver's far better off adjusting their offense and working Gordon in more so, and less minutes and less field goal attempts for Michael Porter Jr. And that'll counteract the fact that this guy can't hit the broadside of a brick wall right now, Michael Porter Jr. So, and I think that bodes well for Aaron Gordon. I mean, and he's appeared to be more than capable. He's played great in the finals.
Yeah, and a guy like Caleb Martin, who was so good in the first 3 series, has been in witness protection for the whole finals. So anyway, Sean, your thoughts, and then we'll get to what we got coming up.
Well, also in this spot like this, he's obviously taken on a big role of late. And if this game is getting away, Murray and Joker will, Murray might be in there, Joker out. So you'll have another guy in here taking a big chunk of shots and looking this is it. It's going away. It's going to be kind of Showtime kind of stuff, right? They'll be like, all right, let's get some guys, other people involved, and why not him? So I like the over both of your props on it. And also, we'll put our tinfoil hats on and get our flat Earth maps out. Aaron Judge and Aaron Gordon, brothers. Aaron Judge apparently is adopted.
Have you seen the picture side by side?
Aaron Judge, is Aaron Judge really adopted?
I put it out there on Twitter. That's probably where you guys saw it.
Is he adopted, Aaron Judge?
That's right.
Is Aaron Judge adopted?
I don't know.
Is that true? Is he adopted?
I get into a lot of statistics.
Well, one of them is apparently, but yeah.
It's kind of funny, Like, because I guess you're on. It's the championship game, and somebody comes out of nowhere. You're like, wait, this guy's name's Aaron, and he's Aaron too, and they're both 6'8", 6'9", big monsters. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, yeah. No, it is. It's always funny when people
And
come up like that, and guys like Jesse, who's got way too much time on his hands.
and never let the truth get in the way of a good story, right, guys?
That's right, man. That's right. Anyway, folks, I lost Friday in the NBA, and that's a scoop. And consistency, Jesse is extremely consistent, and I'm certainly not trying to outshine him, but I have been very consistent as well in the NBA playoffs the last 2 years. 41-23 this year, 36-24 last year, combined 77-47. That loss with Miami on Friday night ended a 7-game win streak for me. So things are going very well for me in the NBA Finals. I will have a pick up within the hour after we get off the air on tonight's NBA Finals. And you could find me at rossbenjaminsports.com, rbwins.com. You could find Jesse at jesseshul.com. You could find Sean at picksandparleys.net. Don't forget to also tune in to Sean's daily podcast called Midday Money. Airs live every day, 12 noon Eastern time. You can find that right at picksandparleys.net homepage or their YouTube channel and various streaming apps across the internet. And Jesse also does his daily videos every day. You could see him. Our sponsor is Gamblers World, and Jesse's been up there every day with his videos at Gamblers World. So you can catch him there, or you can just go to his YouTube page at jesseshul.com. Don't forget, subscribe to both of these guys, folks. We're not in competition with each other. We squeeze for each other. We want each other to win. Yeah, we're competitive, right? We break each other's humps, but at the end of the day, the more guys that could put out a good product in this industry and win on a consistent basis, the better it is for all of us. Because we went through years, how many years of these phone salesmen? It just made it. I don't know about you guys, but it set a precedence that was very difficult to overcome at times when you talk to some people, and you can't blame them because you know what they're telling you is the truth. So, but those days seem to be over now that we got things pretty much regulated in this industry to the point where people don't notice a phone call on the phone, they don't pick it up. So these salesmen, again, folks, if you get a guy, Joe Blow is calling you on the phone, and he's telling you he's everything that a sports handicapper is and then some, well, do a search online. You got the most powerful tool at your disposal. It's called the internet, and you could research. And if you don't see anything on the guy, chances are he's a phone salesman, and he's full of baloney. So in any event, we're not. And Jesse likes Aaron Gordon to go over 13.5 points tonight. Sean Higgs, he likes Max Strauss to go over 2.5 rebounds. And I like Aaron Gordon. I agree with Jesse in part, but I'm going to also add in the assists and rebounds in there. I like Aaron Gordon to go over 23.5 combined rebounds, points, and assists in game 5 on Monday night. And again, guys, I don't know if we're going to be talking NBA any further. Chances are probably not, the way Miami has looked, but you just never know, right, in the NBA. But we will be back tomorrow. We're going to be talking some Major League Baseball, and you're going to get a good fill of Major League Baseball over the next couple months from us, and some football previews and football futures and all that kind of stuff. We'll keep you entertained here and keep you going with the info. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, which is the Winner's Circle Sports Betting channel, take a second to do so. It costs you absolutely nothing. There's no strings attached. And Jesse, that like button, what do you want these guys to do with the like button?
Smash it.
All right. Smash that like button, as Jesse would say. Until the next time, which will be tomorrow morning, with these two guys, I will be back later this afternoon with Doug Upstone. We'll be discussing some Major League Baseball, and I'm sure Doug will voice some of his opinions on what he's witnessed in the NBA Finals as well. Take care and God bless, folks.